Hi everyone, welcome back to the SQL station. In this session, I'm going to explain you how to install SQL Server 2022 on Windows. So these are the steps involved in installing and connecting to Microsoft SQL Server on Windows. So download the SQL Server Developer Edition from official Microsoft website, install the SQL Server database, download SQL Server Management Studio, also called SSMS. Install SQL Server Management Studio. So SQL Server Management Studio is a client to SQL Server database through which we can connect to SQL Server and do the queries. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this is the link where you can find SQL Server 2022 Developer Edition, which is completely free. So just click on download now. That should download the installable file onto your download. So this is the file that we just downloaded. Double click on that and it will ask you permission to install. Just say yes, and you will have different varieties of SQL Server installations. So just click on the basic and then again accept the license and click on install. That should install SQL Server on your desktop. It should hardly take 2 to 3 minutes. So once that is completed, we will install SQL Server Management Studio, and here is the link to get the SQL Server Management Studio installables. Click on download SQL Server Management Studio 21. So again, that will download the installable. This is the one that we just downloaded for SQL Server Management Studio. Double click on that particular file. And again, it's gonna ask you a permission. Just click yes. And click on continue. This is something new which I haven't seen in previous version, but in 21 version it's actually installed via Studio Installer. And here you can see SQL Server Management Studio 21. So you should see a install option here, but just because I have already installed Management Studio in my computer, I could only see modify or launch option. So that's fine. Once you complete installing Management Studio, you should also see a launch option on your screen. So just click on launch. So this is to connect to the SQL Server database from SQL Server Management Studio, or instead of launch, you can also do a search here for SQL Server Management Studio. This one. Sorry, SQL Server Management Studio. This is the app. This was coming up on my other screen. So this is the app. And this is the connection window. On the server name, you can just give a localhost because you have installed the SQL Server database on your PC. So that's gonna work. I'm sorry. Authentication, just click on Windows Authentication. There are different ways to connect to the SQL Server, but Windows Authentication that just work for us. And make sure you click on Trust Server Certificate, so otherwise it will not allow you to connect, and then connect. That's all. Like, we have installed SQL Server 2022 on our PC. We have also installed the client SQL Server Management Studio, and we have successfully connected to the database. So under the database section, generally you will see all the databases. Because this is a fresh system, you don't have any databases apart from some system databases. So you can just right click on this particular database, and that will let you create a new database. You can name it as a sample db and just sample underscore db and leave everything as default, and easy, that's created that sample dt database. And if you go further into the tables, do we have any? Now, apart from the system tables, we don't have any user tables because this is again a brand new database. So if you are just trying to learn SQL and you don't know how to get the data into the database, so Microsoft actually provides sample databases called wide world importers, or there is another database called AdventureWorks. So we can simply restore that particular sample databases into the SQL Server instantly. So I'm just going to share you more details on that one. So this is the link where you can find those sample databases. There's different types of databases like OLTP, data warehouse, and lightweight. So for now, just go ahead with the data warehouse version. Just click on this. That's going to download the sample database into the downloads folder. So this is the file that we just downloaded. So this backup file will have number of tables. So now that we have downloaded this file, but how can we restore that particular file into the SQL Server? Again, come back to the Management Studio, right click on databases. You will see an option called Restore Database, and because you have the backup file in your device, click on Device and click on these three dots right here and click on Add. So it's looking for that backup file which needs to be restored in this location. So what we need to do, we just need to copy that file that we just downloaded into that folder and then go back to the Management Studio, click refresh. So you will see that backup file here. Then click OK, click OK, click OK. Very simple. So that should get that particular database into your SQL Server instance. Now that we have successfully restored AdventureWorks DW 2022 into our SQL Server, let's see what's inside this particular database. Okay, so we got some tables, views, and some other objects. Let's expand tables. So you can see a lot of tables already in your database. Okay, fine, I have database, I have tables, but I don't know how to write a SQL. Okay, that's not a problem at all. Just right click on this particular table here and click on top 1000 rows. That's gonna give you a nicely formatted query and the results, right? This is how you can write a simple query. Or if you want to write, SQL and you want to write a manual query, just right here, select top 10 star from table name. Okay, you can just simply drag and drop the table name here and execute. There you go. So this is how very easily we can install SQL Server 2022 on our PC and query the data. So I'm going to introduce some exciting SQL videos for beginners. So please watch out for my channel. Wish you good luck. See you later. Bye.